Creation's Journey to Life, Day 13, Failed Relationships. It is suggested that you share this writing with your partner and see what is the real temperature and intimacy and trust in your relationship. I forgive myself that I have accepted and allowed myself to not see that relationships will fail if I have expectations that are greater than the reality of the relationship and do not communicate and align myself to build intimate trust through effective sharing and immediate self forgiveness if I find that I react in some emotion or feeling towards my partner. I forgive myself that I have accepted and allowed myself to not see that when I project my pre-programmed designs onto my partner, that I would create a fighting environment where we would both argue for our limitations, creating an energetic game where we would compete with one another. I forgive myself that I have accepted and allowed myself to not see that to create intimacy within my agreement, I have to be intimate with my agreement. I forgive myself that I have accepted and allowed myself to not see that if I would like to create a more affectionate agreement, I have to give affection. I forgive myself that I have accepted and allowed myself to be guided by feelings instead of that which forms effective, equal relationships, and ended up disappointed with feelings of failure and inadequacy when my expectations turn out to be different to reality because I did not spend time to get to know my partner and did not make sure that my partner will in fact be able to change to what is best for all life, as that will be best for the relationship. I forgive myself that I've accepted and allowed myself to not be self honest about my life to my partner, as I fear they would never accept me if they knew all about me. But later, when they found out, the partner felt more betrayed by me, not sharing than about my ideas of my past and how it may influence another. I forgive myself that I have accepted and allowed myself to not realize that any new relationship is a complete package with the past of both partners as part of the package that must be investigated and released with self forgiveness to make sure past issues that have become part of the living tissue do not emerge to sabotage the newly formed relationship. I forgive myself that I have accepted and allowed myself to not realize that relationships are based in words, and that unless me and my partner align our vocabulary to have the same meaning, we will end up miscommunicating, and with constant miscommunication, resentment, and judgment, will build that will sabotage the relationship. I forgive myself that I've accepted and allowed myself to refuse to see that money will play a major role in the effectiveness of any relationship, and that if I do not play open cards about money from the beginning to establish trust, and to see that there would be no issue about the past of money, the present of money, and the future of money, due to a clear understanding to clear the past issues with money together, establish a present effective action with money to build a future with money that would support the relationship to develop in ways that would bond the relationship in its sharing. The money issue will cause resentment and backchat, and the backchat will lead to failure of the relationship. I forgive myself that I have accepted and allowed myself to not see that sexual ability is always an ego issue and that past sexual skills are not necessarily present sexual affective expression, as the new relationship will require new specific alignment and the discovery of each other, which must be practiced regularly and with full participation from both parties to lead to a fulfilling relationship, and that whenever an issue arises, it must be addressed immediately, because if I allow it to fester, it will become backchat as resentment thoughts, which will lead to emotions that will influence effective touching and sex and lead to the eventual failure of the relationship. I forgive myself that I've accepted and allowed myself to refuse to see that effective self honest communication and an effective letting go through self forgiveness of the past will support a relationship to be very effective and a pleasure to be a part of. Any thoughts that are in any way derogative or judgmental to a partner, or any thoughts that would compare a partner to a previous partner or an imaginary partner, are all indicators that the relationship is in trouble, and immediate communication and self forgiveness to stop this secret position towards the partner must be done or it will grow in energy intensity till it bursts over either in infidelity or anger or any other emotion that will be destructive and could be used by either partner to end the relationship. It must be considered that where there are secrets in a relationship, the likelihood that such relationship will last is not good. I forgive myself that I have accepted and allowed myself to not consider that when I compromise my values and or cause my partner to compromise values, resentment as secret thoughts will develop with a judgmental, blaming nature that will grow and imprint on the physical body until become possessed with the energy and use the energy to bring change to the relationship instead of preventing these types of events with a self-honest heart-to-heart that leads to self-forgiveness and forgiveness of each other, where each takes self-responsibility to act with integrity at all times within the relationship. I forgive myself that I have accepted and allowed myself to not realize that I have never been trained to be a skillful relationship partner, and that education in relationship skills will improve the effectiveness of the relationships extensively and prevent failed relationships. I commit myself to enter any relationship on the basis of equal agreement to directively form a sound foundation from where the agreed relationship can prosper. I commit myself to investigate and understand my pre-programmed designs to effectively remove them before I enter in an agreed relationship for life so that I will be aligned to, in fact, walk my relationship with life as my partner and to insist that my partner do the same, as there is sufficient evidence in many failed relationships that relationship technology and self-technology is necessary to prevent failure and to enhance effective living. I commit myself to give intimacy as I would like to receive intimacy, so that my giving will be the example for my partner as to what I would like to receive, and that we as partners agree to not want anything from each other unless we give to each other to show by example what it is we would like to receive as intimate communication, touch, and togetherness. I commit myself to give affection as I would like to receive affection, so that my giving will be the example for my partner as to what I would like to receive, and that we as partners agree to not want anything from each other unless we give to each other to show by example what it is we would like to receive as affection. I commit myself to not enter in relationships by feeling, but by agreement as to what is best for both parties, to make sure we start with common ground and do not end in failure because we rushed in high on emotion, only to find out we were blind to the obvious. I commit myself to face my fears about the judgments of others and to share my past with my prospective partner so that it can be clear whether the partner will accept all of me or not. Unless both partners accept all of each other's past regardless of what happened, the relations will not be based on a sound agreement and may fail at any stage. I commit myself to close all back doors so that no sudden secret issue from the past may become the reason for one or the other partner to use it as a reason to call the relationship agreed upon as a failure. I commit myself to, as partners together, investigate how words make us feel and experience ourselves, and to identify the primary words we would like to live as our world, and to redefine these words together so that we can be as one in the creation of our future together, as we understand if we work against each other because we are not as one, the relationship is bound to fail. Thus, if we cannot agree to work as one in all our words as living words, the relationship should be failed before it starts. I commit myself to be open about all money matter, earnings, and debt, that we as partners can plan our life together and start with a foundation of trust. I commit myself to leave my ego outside the agreed relationship and to explore sexuality in fun and entertaining ways so that both partners can develop an effective relationship with the body as vehicle of life. I commit myself to make self-honest self-forgiveness part of the agreed relationship, as that would ensure that the relationship will weather all storms. But the best of it is that most storms will be prevented through clear communication and a structured, effective living style. I commit myself to never compromise the agreed values of the relationship as that will lead to failure, and we have agreed that failure is not an option and must prove that in our effective living by not having failure as an option. This will improve communication, and the force of two as one will be very effective in all we do in this life. I commit myself to investigate how I could become more effective with the skills necessary that will ensure that my relationships do not fail.